Thank you so much for joining me today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her. And today's restorative yoga practice is going to be super focused on just taking care of ourselves and coming into balance with our body, mind, spirit, emotions, everything. So let's go ahead and get started laying on our backs. You can take that constructive rest pose with the knees bent and touching in the center and the feet out nice and wide, and just make some adjustments with your stance here so that the knees are resting comfortably and it takes zero effort on your part to keep the legs elevated. And then just lift the head just enough to tuck the chin and lengthen through the back of the neck. And press into your triceps, lift your heart, and snuggle your shoulder blades in toward one another. And let's just go ahead and bring your hands to your belly. While you bring your hands to your belly, I'll bring my hands to my belly. Let's all bring our hands to our bellies. Allow your triceps, your elbows to just rest comfortably at your sides. And begin to just notice the rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and exhale. You might even notice that you don't notice much movement in the belly. You might be breathing up higher in your chest. If that's the case, see if you can just encourage the breath down into the belly. And if you like, if you have a yoga block or a pillow or a bolster, or maybe even a rolled up blanket or a rolled up towel, you can get a hold of that, press into your feet, lift your hips like you're coming into bridge pose, and tuck that puppy right underneath your sacrum. Not under the tailbone. You don't want any pressure on the tailbone. But so that it goes across the width of your back, about below where a belt would be. And just begin to let the front of the hips open, continuing to breathe into your belly. And let's just find that balanced breath here. Just count to yourself how many beats it takes for you to draw in an inhale. And then match the length of your exhale to the length of the inhale. So if you're inhaling for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. Something like inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Whatever your count is, might be 3, might be 5, might be 10. Just let that be your count, and I'll let go of my prompt so that you can breathe to your own rhythm. Begin to soften and deepen and slow things down. You might even notice that your count lengthens by a beat or 2 after some time. Maybe think of something that's happened in your life that gave you a sense of relief. Maybe you got a new job, or you passed a test, or you finished a long day, or you narrowly escaped an accident, something. Maybe your house finally sold, whatever it is, something that gave you a big sense of relief, and just let that feeling of relief reminding yourself what that feels like, and just create that sense of relief in yourself. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or mouth with a big sigh. Inhale. And with a sense of relief, just let it go. Once again. Just come back to your nostril breathing, your balanced breath. And as you're ready, let's begin to parallel the feet. Press them into your mat. Lift your hips up to remove any support you might have put there. And then we'll bring the feet or the hips back down to the mat. And we'll take the hands at the low belly. We'll just begin to make circles on the belly, circling over to the right side of the abdomen, and then up the right side, and then across towards the left underneath the rib cage, and then down the left side, and then across the low belly once again from left to right, up the right side, across from right to left underneath the ribs, and back down on the left again. And just do this with as much or as little pressure as feels good to you. And we'll just continue making those circles around the belly, coming up the right side and going down the left side. Following that ascending colon up the right and the descending colon down the left, with as much or as little pressure as feels good to you. And then you might begin to just explore here any areas of tenderness. Maybe you find a place that you want to just hold or massage. Just show your belly some love, helping your digestion and stimulating that vagus nerve, which is attached to every single organ in our body. So we're telling our bodies with our balanced breathing and your gentle touch and this internal organ massage that it is okay to calm down. It is okay to digest and rest and come back into balance. And when you've had enough of that, just let that go. And we'll go ahead and inhale and stretch everything out long, reaching the fingertips away from the toes, maybe wiggling them. And then we'll bend one knee and then the other and draw them in towards the heart, and just wrap your hands around your knees or shins and give yourself a hug. And even here, as you're pressing your thighs to your belly, you can massage those internal organs and rock from side to side gently. Just letting your knees come as far away from the belly as you like. And then we'll begin to make some small circles with the knees on the ceiling. Just hold on to those kneecaps, and as you inhale, straighten your elbows and let the knees come away. And as you exhale, bend the elbows and let them come inward. And then when you're ready, we'll just reverse the circles. And as you do, just notice the contact of your back on your mat, massaging your body, massaging the low back, and then just kind of let it be organic. And maybe you notice a place over here on the right side and you want to just kind of balance there and rock back and forth, or maybe you notice a place over here on the left hip, and you want to just kind of make some little circles there. Whatever feels good to you, just milk it. Maybe come back to that feeling of relief and take another big inhale and let it go with a sigh. And then we'll just bring those feet back down to the mat, and we'll hug that left knee in towards the heart. Make some circles here with that left ankle in one direction and then the other. And then point and flex the foot. Maybe rock the heel gently from side to side. And then we'll just bring that left knee out to the side and bring the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Just a nice figure 4 stretch here to open up the hip. And as you are here, you might take another opportunity for massage and use the heel of the left hand to kind of press into that left thigh, opening up through the hip flexor. You might even take this opportunity to massage the left hip, maybe up on this little shelf of the left hip tends to be a tender place. Anywhere that feels good to you. And this might be enough of a hip opener for you today, but if you would like to get a little bit more out of this, you can lift your legs up and interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. If you need to lift the head and shoulders to do that, go ahead and do that, but make sure you can comfortably bring the head and shoulders back down to your mat. If you can't, just let go of that leg and stay with the foot anchored down to the mat. And we might rock from side to side once again here. You could also inhale and press the right thigh into your interlaced fingers, straightening both arms. And then exhale, drawing the right thigh in towards your heart, bending the elbows. Inhaling to press away. Exhaling to draw inward. Just finding some gentle movement here in that hip socket. And then let's find some stability, some stillness here. If this is tough on the left knee, make sure you're flexing the left foot to engage the tendons around the knee. Give that knee some stability. And we'll just find that balanced breath here once again. So inhaling for your count, exhaling for the same count. And you might even want to shift your hips from over towards the right just a little bit more. And notice how that changes the sensation in the left hip. Take another full breath right here. Maybe let it go with that big relieving sigh. And then we'll inhale, straighten the right leg, flex the right foot. Exhale, bend the right knee and release the foot. Inhale, straighten and flex. Exhale, bend and soften. Just getting some movement here in the knee, getting a stretch across the hamstring. If you want to go even deeper here, let's all extend the right leg and press the sole of the foot towards the sky and maybe hug the legs in any amount closer. If this is not enough for you today, you might even reach up above the left leg and hold on to that right calf. And you might even enjoy some massage right there as well. I'm just going to stay here holding on to that hamstring for now. But you do you. Another big breath here. And then leave the legs just the way they are. Spread the arms out wide into a T. And we're going to inhale here. Stay for the exhale. And as you do, just engage your core a little bit. Maybe one of the tricks for engaging the core that I really like is engaging the perineum, as if you're doing a Kegel exercise. It's Mula Bandha in the yoga tradition. But it's just basically doing a Kegel, and you just engage the low transverse abdominis by doing that. So engage the core here. And then we're going to inhale and send both legs over to the right. And I'm a little close to my wall here, so I'm going to scooch over a little bit. And just come into a nice twist. And you might look over that left hand. Try to keep the left shoulder anchored down. If this doesn't feel great, you can unwind the legs and just stack the knees here. And we're just going to breathe into the left side of the body. Inhaling, expanding, sending oxygen to all your 37 trillion cells in your body. So think of all of them expanding with that fresh breath. Exhale, releasing all tightness, all tension, all of that old stale air, just letting it go. And then we'll bend both knees if you're not bent already. Stack the knees, stack the ankles. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, engage that core once again. And we'll inhale both knees back to center. Give them another hug and invite your nose up towards your knees. Just realigning everything here. And then we'll bring the head and shoulders and the left foot down to the mat and interlace your fingers over your right shin. And you might even want to switch up how you're interlacing those fingers. So maybe you have your default way. I'm right-handed, so my right finger usually comes on top, my right index finger. So now I've got my left one on top. And we can rotate our ankles in circles in one direction and then the other. Point and flex the foot. Maybe rock the ankle from side to side gently. And then we'll go ahead and take that right knee out towards the right. Bring the ankle to the top of the left thigh and find your figure four. Let's just maybe find a little massage here on the right thigh, the right hip. Yeah, when we change the way we do things, our habitual ways, even as little as changing how we clasp our fingers, we are creating new neural pathways in our brains and supporting neuroplasticity, which helps us age healthier and think more clearly and be more creative in our problem solving, all good things. And then if you want to stay right here, stay right here. If you want to hug the left thigh in, do that. Maybe again, switching the clasp of those fingers. I'm finding a little movement here, just maybe rocking from side to side. Maybe inhaling and pressing the legs away, exhaling and drawing the knees inward. Keeping the feet flexed to support the knees if this is hard on your knees. They can be soft if that feels good. And then we'll just find some stillness here. Maybe even increasing the depth a little bit by shifting the feet, the right foot over towards the left a bit, deepening the stretch in the right side here. And then just finding a few breaths here, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face, finding your balanced breath once again. Maybe finding that big relieving exhale with a sigh. And then let's inhale, straighten the left leg and flex the sole of the foot up towards the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, release the tension in the ankle. Inhale, straighten and press. Exhale, bend and soften. We'll just keep getting some movement there in that left knee. And again, if you want to go deeper, you can reach up over that right leg and hold on to the calf instead. But let's all go ahead and just extend that left leg and keep it here. Maybe drawing the legs any amount closer towards the heart. Really flexing, pressing the left heel up towards the sky and finding the stretch that suits you today. So the straighter you have your leg, the more of a stretch you'll feel in your calf. If you want more of a stretch in the hamstring or the right hip, you might bend your knee a little bit. Just whatever works for you. And then we'll leave the legs right where they are. Open the arms out wide into a T. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, engage that core. Inhale and send the whole leg package over to the left. And then maybe take your gaze out across that right palm. Maybe find a relieving sigh here. Keeping that right shoulder anchored down as much as possible. And again, come out of this, just stack the knees one on top of the other if this isn't comfortable in any way. But maybe if it's uncomfortable just a little bit, just not painful, you might find there's a little discomfort. Just allow yourself to kind of soften around it. Find ease where you can. This can be an intense and deep stretch, but as long as it's not painful and you're not going beyond your edge, you might find a little softness here. Let's take another full breath. And then we'll inhale to prepare to come out of the pose. Breathe, bending both knees, stacking the knees, stacking the ankles. Exhale, engage that core, and inhale to draw the knees back to center. Give them a nice big hug. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, extending everything out long once again. And then we're just gonna make a big X marks the spot on the mat. So you've got your right leg at the right corner, left leg at the left corner, maybe a little wider. Just take up space. Nice big X marks the spot here. And then we're just gonna draw the right foot over towards the left and the right arm over towards the right. Just kind of making a banana shape here, lying on its side, banana asana, as it's called among us yoga teachers, because it's so hilarious. And we're just gonna breathe into that whole right side body. You might wanna stay right here, or you might wanna cross that right ankle over the left ankle. You might want to interlace your fingers up over your head, or maybe bend your elbows and frame your face. Let's see here. Whichever, I don't, let's bring the right hand on top. Yeah, if you've got the ragdoll shape, the frame around the face with the palms cradling the elbows, have the right forearm on top. We'll really get into that whole right side of the body. So again, come back to your balanced breath. Inhaling for your count. Exhale for your count. And just notice any areas of tension or tightness. Just be aware of them. And as you notice an area, you might just begin to breathe with your attention there. And then see if you can relax a little bit more. Relaxing that area of tension or relaxing the whole body as much as you can. And just feel the sensation of whatever is going on within you. Just allow yourself to feel it without trying to rub it away or stretch it away or distract yourself from it. Just let yourself feel it. And then just be the witness of it. Be the watcher of the feeling. Kind of creating just a little distance, bringing a little curiosity to it maybe. And just allow it to be there without trying to change anything, just accepting what is. And notice if that practice in and of itself doesn't bring a little bit more softness, a little bit more ease. Next time we inhale, let's come back to that big X shape. Exhale, left leg over to the right, right arm over to the right, making your banana asana. Maybe staying right here, maybe crossing that left ankle over the right, maybe interlacing your fingers over your head, taking that steeple grip, or maybe framing your face, left arm on top now. And we'll breathe into the whole left side of the body, finding your balanced breath. And again, just notice any areas that are calling for your attention, any areas of discomfort or disease. And just not pain. If this is painful, back out of it, obviously. Well, not obviously, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Just back out if it's painful. It's not obvious, actually. That's our whole thing in our Western culture is no pain, no gain, right? It's not supposed to hurt. But we can breathe into it. We can relax around it. We can allow ourselves to feel it. We can watch it. We can allow it to be there. We are always in such a hurry to get ourselves out of any discomfort, any uncomfortable positions or situations, distracting ourselves from it, sometimes in ways that harm ourselves. This practice can help you to find acceptance with what is. Like the Serenity Prayer says, knowing what you can change and what you can't change. And there are those things that you can't change that it'll make you crazy if you just keep thinking about them. So maybe just accept it and let it be. And then we'll inhale back to that big, big X shape, taking up tons and tons of space. And then let's go ahead and open up the back body here a little bit. You can either hold on to the backs of the thighs and rock and roll up and down the spine, or just roll over and come to the belly. I like to do this rock and roll up and down the spine, give myself a little massage. And actually, let's all come over into child's pose first. So let's take those big toes together. Bend the knees and take them out as wide as the mat, or as wide as is comfortable here for your hips. We're just gonna crawl the hands out. Big reach with the right hand, big reach with the left hand, and just melt the heart down towards the earth. If you need to be up a little higher here, if this is contraindicated for you, bring yourself to a bolster or a couple of blocks or a pillow to keep the heart lifted. You might turn your head in one direction or the other. And just allow yourself to melt. Just breathe. Relax. Notice what you feel and allow it to be there. Softening around it. Maybe as you inhale your balanced breath, you can send it into the low back. As you exhale, relax and soften any amount more. If you're on a bolster or blanket and you're resting on a cheek, go ahead and turn to the other side to even things out. Just have your arms resting comfortably at your sides. Another couple breaths here, continuing to soften. Just shedding yourself of all the stuff that accumulates throughout the day. Just letting it all go. When you're ready, we'll press up off the support. We're going to get into the shoulders a little bit. So any way that works for you. We can do this from child's pose if that's not contraindicated for you, and you can be down on the mat, or you can be seated in a comfortable seat. We're going to get into the left shoulder here. So if you're doing that from a seat, we're going to cross the left arm over the heart and hug it in with the, cross the right arm over the heart, hug it in with the left arm, and just breathe behind the shoulders here. Breathe into the shoulder blades. If you'd rather do this from child's pose, take the knees out nice and wide, extend through both arms, and then tuck that right arm under the left and come on down to your right temple, resting on your right shoulder. You can reach that left arm long away, or you might press the left palm into the mat and bend the elbow and deepen the twist a little bit more. You might say hello to Princess. She came in to voice her displeasure. And I guess she realizes she's not going to get any attention while we're on the mat. No matter where you are, seated or in child's pose, take one more big breath. And then we'll unwind and either draw the left arm in, hugging it in with the right hand, or come down into child's pose and thread that left arm underneath the right. Maybe reaching out long with that right hand, maybe pressing the right palm into the mat and twisting back, drawing that right shoulder down and back. And just breathe into the space behind the heart. Maybe take a big exhale with a sigh of relief. One more full breath wherever you are. And then we'll unwind. Let's all come up onto our knees in high kneeling pose. If you have yoga blocks, you might want to grab them and have them alongside your feet here. We're going to come into camel pose. So there's lots of different variations of camel pose. So we're just going to start here with the hands at the hips in high kneeling. And find your Tadasana back. Tuck chin, shoulder blades down the back, tailbone nice and long down towards the earth. Let's inhale here. Reach up with that right arm and bring it all the way back in a circle and take the right hand to the back of the right hip. And we'll just open up through that right side first. Lift the heart. Keep the chin tucked for now. One more inhale, exhale, just come right back to center. Inhale, reach the left arm up alongside the ear, all the way back and around to that left hip. And we'll just look back over that left shoulder. Nice little gentle twist here, lifting the heart. And then we'll just come right on back to center. This time we'll inhale both arms up towards the sky alongside the ears. Bring the arms down and around and bring the hands to the low back. Let's draw those elbows in towards one another and the fingertips are kind of pointed down towards the earth here. Nice long tailbone. Engage that lower abdominis here, engaging the mula bandha, the perineum here, your Kegel exercise to support your back while you're in this shape. And then we'll just lift the heart up towards the sky, keeping the tailbone long, drawing the shoulders towards one another, drawing the elbows towards one another, and maybe opening up the throat any amount. This might be enough for you today in camel pose. Take an inhale here and we'll exhale and just come down to hero's pose. Take a breath here to recalibrate, realign, and then we'll inhale back to high kneeling. We'll take those arms up and around, bring the hands to the low back once again. And then the next time you inhale, we'll lift the heart up towards the sky, lengthen the tailbone down, maybe look upward. You might want to stay right here, but if you want to explore a little deeper, you might want to curl the toes under to bring the hips up. Let those hands come down to the tops of the thighs, those hamstrings. Maybe stay here, maybe reach for your blocks. Or maybe come all the way down to your heels. If you want to go deeper, you can take the tops of the feet to the earth here. This is about as far as I go though. And breathe. When you're ready to come out, tuck your chin. Bring your hands back to your thighs and then the low back. Untuck the toes, and we'll come right back down to kneel. Again, take a couple breaths here. Just let the energy of that kind of sink into your body. We're going to do that one more time. As we do, see if you can find that balanced breath. Maybe the practice of breathing, relaxing, feeling, watching, and allowing, which is a Kripalu method, a school back east. And just let yourself maybe focus on your lifted heart. So let's inhale back to high kneeling, arms reach up and out and around. Maybe you tuck the toes, let the shoulder blades come in, the elbows come in, the hands come down to your level, to your edge. And as you're ready to come out, tuck the chin, bring the hands to the low body, gradually coming back down into your hero's pose. You might want to stay uplifted here, or you might want to come down into child's pose, keeping the legs parallel, letting the hands come alongside the legs, palms facing up next to the feet, tucking the chin. Counter pose for camel. If this does not feel good for you to be down low like this, stay in your hero's pose or a comfortable seat of your choice. And just allow the shoulders to relax, the arms to be heavy. Think of your back as like a little tablecloth here, and it's just draped over you. One more big breath here. Maybe letting it go with a big exhale and a big sigh. And then we'll unwind, coming into a comfortable seat of your choice. Cross-legged Sukhasana, maybe sitting on a block or a bolster, or maybe finishing up in Dandasana pose, which is what I'm in here. I like to finish in this balanced posture at the end. Legs straight out in front, toes pointed up towards the sky, feet flexed. Let's bring those fingertips out to the sides. Find your tall Tadasana spine, that strong, beautiful stability within you. Take one more full breath here. And then as you inhale next, let's reach those arms out to the sides, palms up towards the sky. Bring them together overhead and exhale to draw them down to meet your heart. You might bow your head gently in gratitude for yourself in taking this time out to balance your nervous system, to bring yourself into homeostasis, which is a gift for you and everyone you meet along the way. Let's all bring our thumbs to our third eye area, that you would have clear and loving thoughts. Bring the thumbs down to meet your lips, that you would have clear and loving words, and down to meet your heart, that we would all have clear and loving intentions. Namaste.